Morpeko is one of my favorite Pokemon generally in the GO Battle League, and I had a great team here with this Pokemon. And so today we're gonna take a look at how this team works, and we have actually a little bit of a long episode because guess what? Now I can actually do quite a lot more battles per team, and I can try them out a little bit more, so I have more to say, more to show, and I can show you especially teams that I find very cool and very strong. And so this is going to be what's happening on my channel nowadays only. We're going to only have teams that I find either interesting or super strong. And today we're going to have a team that's both of that. We're going to have Morpeko as our main Pokemon on this team, and I can tell you already, this was the main Pokemon on my team. This Pokemon was the strongest one in my opinion, but all of those three Pokemon that we have here on the team were all very, very strong. I had great success with it. I had, as you saw in the beginning, I had a 5-0. I had generally just mainly positive sets with this team, and the main reason was actually Morpeko. And we're going to have here maybe 30 minutes of gameplay today, so yeah, stay tuned for quite a lot of cool battles, but also it showcases you a little bit more on how this team actually functions, and I really hope that you enjoy those videos. If you do enjoy, especially like now, the content on this channel, I'm going to change a little bit. I know, actually kind of funny. The first video after I said that stuff is going to change was a Bastion video, but this was actually supposed to be before that. But here we're going to have now teams that are really good for the GO Battle League only, or teams that are very interesting for the GO Battle League with like new Pokemon or whatever. That's it. No more trying to do 2 videos a day or anything. This is not going to happen on this channel anymore. We're going to have just fun, and I want to showcase my favorite teams, my teams that I'm using for the GO Battle League, so you can climb, so you can learn, and that's all that's going to be happening here. And honestly, Morpeko was such a game changer for this team. I did not build this team, by the way. I have here full transparency. This is a team that I stole from someone I battled, and so today we're going to take a look at how strong this team is going to be. I don't know who actually created this team, but I lost against this team myself, and I had just a lot of fun here playing that. Here, by the way, in this position, the opponent had no chance of winning anymore, because either we knock out the opponent's final Pokemon, and if they want a Sex Swap there, and then they can knock me out with a Dynamic Punch, but then I still have my Corviknight with the payback. So, next up here, we're going to have, the Corviknight now against the opponent's Weezing. Weezing is going to be a bit more awkward for us. Actually, it's not that bad. It is, it's really not that bad. We are going to have here the Medicham now stopping into us, which is also alright. We can absolutely deal with that for sure. We're going to be able to go for the Air Cutter spam here, and we're going to get the attack boost immediately, which is actually crucial in this matchup. If you don't get the attack boost, this is not nearly even going to do enough damage to put them to farm down range, but now it looks like I might be able to just farm them down with Sand Attack. And as you guys see here, there is going to be now a charge move coming in. It is going to be the Dynamic Punch. And we're going to sub out still into our Morpeko, going for the full farm down, hoping that it's going to work out for us. In comes the Weezing. Here again, actually this is the worst matchup for me for the Weezing, but I'm still going to be able to do super effective damage against them. But they also do super effective damage against me with their fast move. Sludge is coming in, is going to get us kind of low. Psychic Fangs coming through is going to allow us to get a bit of damage, or in this case actually knock them out. And we have basically 3 Pokemon left. The opponent still has 1 Pokemon left with just full health and 1 that is like 1 HP. And here it's going to be Mightyena as the final Pokemon. And I was a bit worried about this, but they swap out into the Medicham to catch the move, which didn't work out for them. So like that worked out really well for us. We have a ton of energy now. We can go for the Awkward Tail. They let the move go through. And do we shield this? I'm gonna shield this. It is gonna be the Crunch. It does not get the debuff, which means we can stay in. I'm just gonna go for the Awkward Tail spam because I wasn't too sure on if this was the right play or not, because I have also Sand Attack still, which would knock them out in theory later on. But as you can see, yeah, there's the Crunch coming through. It doesn't actually knock us out. We're going to just be able to win this battle, and we can move on to the next opponent. Where you face off against the Quagsire. This is exactly where you need to face it. Against any ground-type Pokemon, you can't have the lead, especially against ground and water. You really need to have your lead aligned, otherwise it's going to be a bit tough for you. Just generally, it's going to be quite a bit tough for you. And so we're going to have to play this one out. I usually just go for the Air Cutter spam, personally, but that is up to you. Like, this is honestly up to you. We're going to see here the Awkward Tail coming through. It's going to do some solid damage. We're going to try to do more Air Cutter damage here as well. This is going to be, at least getting here even on us an attack boost. This should not be the Stone Edge, right? It is. And I was like, I didn't really expect it at all, but at this point, the opponent's crack side is super, super low. We are going to be able to go for the air cutter down to knock them out. They're going to have the attack boost onto ourselves, but of course, we're going to sub out here. And then comes the Umbreon, and while in theory, we resist the damage and they only take neutral damage from us, it's not as great because we are forced to go for the awkward tail spam. Umbreon is one of the bulkiest Pokemon for the Go Battle League, and just truthfully, like, this is not a great matchup at all. This is just a matchup where I would like to just get out of here soonish and try to go into my Morpeko in order to utilize this matchup. And so I keep the energy here. I'm still going to have some energy for later on. In comes Morpeko, in comes the Fearow. This is a bit awkward because Fearow is going to be able to one-shot us with a Drill Run. But we're going to be able to outspeed them with our Thunder Shock plus the Psychic Fangs. But are we going to outspeed them with the shield advantage for the opponent is my question here. And this is where Morpeko really just showcases why this Pokemon is so strong. They're actually going to bait us here, which is kind of necessary for them to maybe even get to the Drill Run. But they're still not going to get to the Drill Run. Psychic Fangs coming through is going to knock them out here. And with that, this game is over. They will not be able to knock out our Morpeko in time anymore. And we're just going to be able to win against that Umbreon. Guaranteed. And we will see here as well they're going to forfeit. Quagsire against us again in the lead. This is exactly where you want to have it because again our Corviknight is kind of the best answer for it. And again, I just generally like to go for the air cutter spam. A lot of times, for example here, if you get the attack boost early on, it can be quite helpful. In comes the Empoleon. I can go for the payback. If they shield, I should go into my Morpeko. They don't shield, so I just stay in here. I am going to use a shield here though, because the Hydro Cannon is doing more damage than anything that the opponent's Quagsire is ever going to do. Like, that's usually what's happening there. And I expect the Quagsire actually to come back in again, because that was their best answer for it so far. So they're very likely going to be weak to Corviknight in the back. But I can't really just shield mindlessly here, because at the end of the day, I don't know exactly what is in the back. Maybe my backline is good against it as well. I don't know yet. But we're going to be able to go for the air cutter. Again, we're at +1, so like this doing a little bit of damage. We're going to be able to go for another air cutter. Again, we're at +1, so this will knock them out. But we don't know what there's in the... Okay, they're going to let this go. And they reveal that they have in the back the Chestnut. That makes sense that they didn't want to have this Pokemon against our Corviknight, where we have double super effective damage against them. But Morpeko actually is the key to winning this battle. Why? Because of Psychic Fangs, of course. The opponent has no chance of clearing their debuff at this point. And this means as well that we're just going to be able to go for the Psychic Fangs spam. This is going to be allowing us to get both shields there. And we're going to be able to now just go ahead and let them go for the charge move. And while our charge moves are all resisted, we are going to be actually in a position here right now where I am going to be able to knock them out still with a crunch because they're at -2 defense. And that is still hurting quite a bit. As you can see here, the Umbreon is coming in against us in the next battle. We're going to be able to just stay in for a little bit, get some energy, and ideally actually you would like to swap out soonish because this is not the ideal matchup. Again, Air Cutter is barely doing any damage against them. We can here just try to catch maybe a move, which does not work out at all, but that's fine. Last resort is not going to kill us. It's not even going to two-shot us at all, so in comes the Charger Bug, and I don't really know why they do this, because this is literally for us the best matchup where we could have Charger Bug. We gotta do some nice damage here. I don't know if it's worth it to use. I think it's actually worth it to use the shield because we got the defense drop. So we could just go for the Awkward Tail and we force then the shield. Yeah, but sadly, they wouldn't knock us out anyway. We would have been able to go for another Awkward Tail in time. Excel's going to knock us out now. I can go into my Morpeko, but I can try to even catch the move here onto the Corviknight. That didn't work out. In comes the Umbreon. That is really unfortunate because Umbreon would have been great for our Morpeko. We get the attack boost though early, and so I could just play it out. I could just see what we're going to be able to do here, as we got, one attack boost. We have them already at half health. And now we're going to have the Air Cutter coming in again, giving us another attack boost. Now all of a sudden, this matchup is a different one. And this is why Corviknight is currently actually considered one of the strongest Pokemon in the game. It's mainly actually the Air Cutter boost chance. Especially with a one-turn fast move, this can flip matchups completely, because if you do 1 or 2 damage on a one-turn fast move, changes quite a bit. In comes 2 Cannon. I know that I would one-shot them with an Aura Wheel. They're going to shield this. Don't really matter on what they're going to do here. We're going to be able to go for another Aura Wheel in time anyway. And so they're going to go down, and this game is over. Good game. Again, Morpeko is just applying so much pressure in the back line there. It's kind of crazy. As soon as they're going to get the ground type out, Morpeko is just destroying everything. Alright, but Murkrow in the lead is not actually the worst, but I know that I would speed them with my Drapion. And I feel like this is such a better matchup for myself, especially knowing that I have my Morpeko in the back, which is a fantastic answer to the Murkrow, as you do super effective damage while resisting everything. Even though it's not gonna feel like this, because Murkrow is very attack rated, Morpeko is very attack rated, so even like a Drill Peck from Murkrow is going to hurt quite a bit. But in comes their Drapion, and I want to keep a bit of energy. And this is exactly what I'm going to do here, as I'm going to swap back into my Corviknight, doing some super effective fast move damage. They're going to be able to go for the crunch here. That is fine by me. I'm going to be able to overfarm by quite a bit as well here, because they should be only needing like 4 more fast move for an Awkward Tail, 5 for a crunch. I can go for the knockout here with the Air Cutter, and they're very likely going to go back into their Murkrow, but we're at least going to have them now in a position where Air Cutter is going to two-shot them, but the first one is also going to get them super low to the point that I can Thunder Shock them down afterwards with my Morpeko. We just have to hope that there's not going to be a ground type in the back, and in this case, it is going to be a ground type in the back. But it is this ground type in the back. It's a water and ground type that is not a Mud Slapper. And this changed a lot. Mud Shot is so much better for Morpeko compared to Mud Slap, because they actually have a lot of play here. And what we're going to see is that we want to be able to go for the Psychic Fangs, which is forcing the shield. I still have the Awkward Tail stored. I'm going to try to reach out for that one. I will catch the move. Okay, I know that they need 5 fast moves for their next move. They know that I need 4 fast moves for my next move, so I would knock them out here. But I expect them to swap out. I can knock them out, and I can now go for the Aura Reel to clean up the battle. And yet again, we had now a ground type that Morpeko was able to destroy. This is honestly the beauty of Morpeko, is just the versatility of this Pokemon and what it can do. Like, it's so much fun to play. In comes here the Diggersby. We are going to be able to just go ahead and let the move go. This is going to be the Fire Punch. That is fine. Payback is coming through. And we are going to be able to just go ahead and get some damage onto them. That is going to be fine as well. As we, by the way, this should be on Easter. Happy Easter for everyone. I am not doing an Easter special. I, by the way, did an Easter special last year. And I feel like every singular creator for PvP did the exact same thing. And so I'm like, you were like, going to see Easter specials on YouTube already. My Easter specials destroy Pokemon here with Morpeko. So, congratulations on that one. Yeah, by the way, Diggersby is a very tough Pokemon for this team. You're supposed to bait out the ground types anyway with your Drapion, which has access to Awkward Tail, where Diggersby isn't too bad. But just generally speaking, like, this was not ideal. In comes now Wigglytuff, which is also not ideal. I am actually forced to go for the shield here, and I'm fairly certain this battle is going to end very fast, but not for us. Like, in a good position, because at this point Awkward Tail is just going to knock them out, but they even have another fairy type in the back, and well, in theory Morpeko would be good against it. It's actually not going to be the case because of Aura Reel, and not Aura Reel, for Aura Sphere, and so we're sadly going to lose this battle, which is alright. Here, Galarian Weezing in the lead. One tip from me is always shield. Especially if they're Shadow, it is very likely that they're running Overheat. If they're non-Shadow, it's more likely to have Brutal Swing. But Overheat, yeah, as a Shadow, I was not too surprised about this. In comes Altaria. I don't actually have a good Altaria answer. Truth be told, I don't have a good Altaria answer on this team. I am not generally weak to Altaria. Those are two different things. But I don't have a great answer. And this is what we're going to see here as well. We're going to have the Crunch coming through, but yeah, as we're going to see here, there is not going to be anything else happening on this Altaria. We're going to have the Sky Attack coming through. It's going to knock us out. I could go into any Pokemon here. I am going to go ahead and go into Payback Corviknight. This should be enough to knock them out from this range now, I think. It is. Okay, I got rid of this Pokemon. I expect Empoleon on the back, which is going to be the case. But I'm in a very bad position. I'm going to shield this move up. It's going to be a Sludge. I have to hope that I can still get 2 moves off here, which I highly doubt that I'm going to be able to do. Yeah, they're going to be able to knock me out here. I am going to lose the battle. Like, there's not a lot that I can do here. Yeah, full stop. I have to farm them down here. I get a bit of energy, don't get me wrong, but like, I can't see that I'm going to be able to win this with my Corviknight. I mean, I can hit a Payback here. This is going to actually land straight away. I could try to go for an attack boost as well, which I'm going to try to do here now. I might be able to still survive a Hydro Cannon from this range. I get the attack boost. Okay, maybe. Is there still a chance? Can we still go for the full farm down? That's going to be close when the Hydro Cannon is going to connect. And they just survive with a few HP left. Get to another charge move. Knock me out. And this is going to be it for this battle. Alright. Empoleon lead. Not too bad. Honestly, Empoleon is not bad for this team. At all. Like, our lead is totally fine. 90% of the time, by the way, they are going to shield the first move of the Corviknight. So a lot of times I'm going to go for the air cutter, but in this case, I'm actually going to go for the payback just to make sure I'm going to get something. And here I'm going to get the shield advantage. This actually is quite an advantage for me, which maybe doesn't seem to be the case for you at the current time. But what this allows me is to get into this next matchup. Okay, here in this case I'm going to support immediately anyway. But I'm going to get into a matchup with Morpeko, where I'm going to start with either attack boost or an energy lead. And both of which is actually quite nice to have. Here, the opponent going to have their final Pokemon, the Malamar. It's actually going to be okay for us. We are going to be able to go for the crunch. We resist the fast move, so like that's not going to be the worst thing. And I'm going to go for the Psychic Fangs, hoping that they just use a shield here because I need to get off some superpowers with this Pokemon. They decide not to. And I was like, just screw up the battle now. I should have just went for the Aura Wheel, boosting myself, and then keeping the boost for the next matchup as well against the opponent's Empoleon. But I didn't. And now I went for the Psychic Fangs as well again. This is going to allow us to get some shields from the opponent. And as we will see, we are going to be able to now go for, another shield. This is going to be fine. The Hydro Cannon is coming through, and we're going to be able to go for the Psychic Fangs in order to get them, down, basically. The Psychic Fangs is going to knock them out. And now we will see here the next matchup coming in, which is going to be the Malamar. We can farm down and win the battle. Piloswim is going to be next. This is going to be a very bad matchup for us, but we're actually going to be able to outspeed them, usually with our Drapier. But apparently I went for an extra fast move on the lead matchup, which I didn't really want to. And with it, this is not going to be as ideal anymore, as we have the Awkward Tail coming through. It's going to get the shield. I will outspeed them now though, but they of course predicted this, caught the move onto the Malamar, and this is going to be quite a bit of a downhill battle so far for me, because the issue is now they're going to be able to outspeed us. And I actually make a bit of a mistake, I would say. What mistake did I do here? Never mind, I actually didn't. Sorry, I didn't actually make a mistake. I did go into my Morpeko, which was actually the right play. Now I decided to swap out into my Corviknight because I thought I need a little bit of an energy advantage generally against the Piloswine in order to have a chance of winning this battle. And this worked out quite well because they're double debuffed now. They're barely going to do damage. We are going to be able to go for not the full farm down, but we're going to be able to get a ton of energy here. Maybe even get an attack boost with the air cutter. Let's find out here. In comes Jellicent. We are going to be able to go for the Aura Wheel to knock them. Not like we're either going to knock them out here or get the final shield, but we're also going to put ourselves in some position to pressure the opponent's Piloswines. Like that's going to be kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to get knocked out by one charge move here. That was what I was thinking, and I was absolutely wrong with that, so that's great for me. And now I just have to hope that I can go for 3 air cutter. I'm fairly certain I should be able to get there. It should be enough to knock them out as well. Especially if I would get a boost here and get some damage extra onto them, but I don't. I can go for another air cutter. Is this going to be enough to knock them out? Let's find out here. It is not, but two more fast moves basically are enough, and we can move on to the next opponent. Where we're going to meet Swampert. Shadow Swampert in the lead. Again, it's going to be a matchup, just generally speaking, where I just enjoy this in the lead. That's exactly where I kind of want to have it. And as we will see, there's going to be, the charge move coming through from the opponent. This is going to be the Hydro Cannon coming through, and we will try our best to go for another air cutter, which they catch on the Togekiss. And I should be able to always outspeed on my Morpeko now. And so I'm always going to be able to knock them out straight away with my Aura Wheel. There's nothing they can do about it. If they shield this, I might be able to farm down afterwards, which is even worse for them. Okay, they shield this, so I will be able to farm them down afterwards, which is worse for them. Or I will be able to go for the Psychic Fangs even here now to knock them out, I guess. And then this happened. Yeah, I would have been definitely in a way better position myself if this didn't happen. But yeah, what can I do? I'm going to predict that they swap out, and that was actually perfect. If I still win this, this was quite a crucial thing there. This was kind of super annoying because I should have been in a position now where I would be with energy advantage on my Morpeko with both shields left with the opponent's Togekiss gone. I am going to be able to get the knockout here against Swampert, which is cool. But like we don't know what this in the back yet. It's going to be the Talonflame. If they have Brave Bird, they win straight away. If they have Flame Charge... Wait, this is a Shadow Talonflame. Usually Shadow Talonflame runs Flame Charge. That might be actually still winnable because I have the option to go for Awkward Tail. And they swap out here into the Togekiss. We found them down. We have the Awkward Tail here. If this is going to be enough, we're still going to win, even with a lag. And this would be amazing. And yes, we are. And we are going to be able to move on to the next opponent. We will face off against Jellicent. I swap out straight away because I have 2 good ends in the back, and in comes Hawlucha. And this Pokemon surprised me in this battle. This Pokemon surprised me quite a bit in this battle. As we're going to see here, I'm going to have the Aqua Tail that's coming through against the opponent. I'm going to be able to go ahead and get some shields from them. And we're going to try our best here now to go for the no shield. Because I was thinking, okay, I can go into the Corviknight, take a hit. But they actually do a great job here at just over farming. And what I didn't expect is that Flying Press is two-shotting Corviknight? I mean, like, it's a neutral hit. Corviknight is one of the bulkiest Pokemon. That was not really on my list, but it doesn't matter. Because what we see here is Jellicent. Wait, they had Jellicent, Hawlucha, and Sableye? Which Pokemon might beat those 3? Yeah, of course, Morpeko. We know that now as well. But, brother, like, what are you doing against Wigglytuff? Like, this is such a weird team to run in the current meta. Like, this is, like, if I would say something towards you here, please don't do what they are doing. Like, that makes 0 sense. Yeah, Morpeko is just completely going to sweep the opponent's team here, which you saw like 3 million times already in this video. Like, Morpeko is broken. But, like, why? Sorry, like, why? Alright. Forretress. Forretress is interesting. Why is Forretress interesting? Because Forretress has 2 modes. It has Bug Bite, it has Volt Switch. Depending on which mode it is, you have to act completely differently. If it's going to be Volt Switch, you want to swap out. If it's going to be Bug Bite, you want to stay in. It's completely different because Bug Bite destroys Morpeko. Volt Switch gets destroyed by Morpeko. Bug Bite gets destroyed by Corviknight. Volt Switch destroys Corviknight. It's literally the same story for Drapion. It's kind of neutral with both of them, so I can swap out here quite neutrally, which is fine. But just generally speaking, like, it is kind of funny on how different it is depending on which fast move Forretress is. Forretress literally, in my opinion, is 2 different Pokemon. Like, it's just, they completely 2 different Pokemon. They function completely differently. Like, yes, it's the same type, but they have completely different kind of coverage, and it's so funny because it's just one fast move change. But it completely changes on how the Pokemon functions in basically every single matchup that this Pokemon has. Alright, Altaria, a bit bad, but I expect that the opponent very likely is going to be using a shield here, and so I get at least something for the Corviknight matchup with a debuff onto them. Now I just have to hope that somehow I can still win this matchup. I am still thinking that, of course, yeah, the payback is not going to be enough here, so I have to go for an air cutter first. I don't get the boost, which is quite unfortunate, because if they can swap out now, I might not be able to knock them out then. And so I'm kind of forced to go straight for the payback, and the opponent makes a great play here, catching it on the onto the what's called Forretress. With that, it's game over. Well done. Yeah, well played. Not much that I can say there. Like, well played. They had actually a bit of a tougher matchup there. I had to kind of go straight for the move because even if they sub out, I'm fairly certain payback doesn't actually knock them out anymore. So, like, I didn't really have a choice. But great timing there, especially against the 1-turn fast move from the opponent here. Very well done. Yeah, not much more to say. Anyhow, we're going to see here now the Corviknight from the opponent. It's not the worst matchup for us here. But actually what I would like to do here, especially with knowing what they had in the lead, is to just get some damage onto them now. Not just let the move go, get another crunch off, and then utilize the Corviknight to get energy on my Morpeko, hoping that they're not going to have a ground type in the back. And this is exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to sub out straight into my Morpeko, get 3 fast moves energy advantage, which just... Okay, ground type in the back, that's not ideal. How am I going to play around this one now? Aqua Tail comes in. Actually, I think this is a mistake. I think it is better to go for Aura Wheel as the first move because it actually still does around 50% of the opponent's health. But now I'm going to just try to debuff them. The reason why I do this is I get the shield here anyway. I still have a payback slot. I can go for the payback on a CMP time. And that is actually fantastic for me. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to win this battle yet. Because they might just let this move go and they're still surviving this. But it's going to be fast move downrange, I assume. I can go for the bait here, hoping I would get a shield, but I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. They're still going to go for a charge move, which could be quite crucial for us, but it's still going to be a game that's a bit of an uphill battle. Morpeko comes in, and I go for the Psychic Fangs. They don't know how much energy I have. They don't. Okay, they're going to go for the shield here. I'm going to be able to use my shield. I have to very lightly catch a move. I think that's the only way of me winning this battle is to catch the move here, because I very likely going to get to the move in time. I want to swap out one fast move before I would get to my own charge move. Didn't work out. They superpower me. I can go into my Drapion. I try to farm them down. It doesn't work out. Good game. Very close battle though. Next opponent, another Forretress. Second to last battle, by the way. Long video here today. Okay, Bug Bite. This is exactly what I mean. This is where you have to go for at least one fast move first to see if they have Volt Switch or if they're going to have Bug Bite, because with Bug Bite you just stay in and look at this, you just destroy them. In comes third, we have a great answer here in our Drapion. The reason why Drapion is actually the better Pokemon nowadays is because literally this charge move. Brick Break would be quite a bit difficult for our Morpeko to deal with, while here we can take at least a hit and we can align ourselves, which just like Drapion matchup is just better against Third. Like that's just full stop. Like there's not really a lot else to talk about. In comes Forretress, still has to go for a charge move here, so like that's kind of fantastic. I know it's the Bug Bite, so I don't need to go into my Morpeko. I can just go into my Corviknight. I tried to even go for the full farm down, but they're gonna swap out into the Stunfisk, and yeah. That's just literally the worst Pokemon to face. It's literally the core breaker of this team. I have to admit though as well, this is the only Stunfisk I have seen in ages, so I wouldn't really worry too much about it. I do think that Stunfisk kind of disappeared in this meta because of how common Quagsire is and how bad Stunfisk matchup against this Pokemon is. So yeah, you see me here still trying to struggle through this matchup, which is practically impossible. Or is it? Or is it? I just need to get myself into a position where I have 2 Aurelials on Morpeko and they sub out of here or something. They do sub. Okay, they just had less than I expected. Yeah, okay, this game is over. The opponent has too much energy, of course, onto their other Pokemon here. They had just very good answers to Morpeko. Good game to them. Nothing I could have done here. Like, it's just nothing I could have done. If you end up in a situation where you have Corviknight and a Morpeko against a Unova Stunfisk, then you just have no chance. Okay, last opponent, by the way, a lot of people that I battled here today I actually know as well. So either from even in real life from tournaments or from my friend list, from online. So shout out to you all. I at least recognized 5 or 6 names in today's video. So shout out to you all. I don't really always like, oh, I know this person. But yeah, for example, this player here as well. I met, I think, in Bremen in my first regional that I did. I'm fairly certain he was there as well. So shout out to you. Think he is a friend of mine as well, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, we're gonna see here the brutal thing coming through from the opponent's Guzzlord. I get some energy advantage, and in comes Cloudsire, and they don't actually know on how much of I don't know, advantage they kind of gave me with that, because this is of course a Pokemon that Morpeko is like happy to not see, as we are going to be able to go for the Aqua Tail spam. We're just going to be able to go for a shield here as well. And with that, it's going to be the Earthquake coming through, which you're going to be able to go for the Aqua Tail against. Now, that's going to be fine. It's going to allow us to get the KO against them, or the shield. We get the KO, which I'm actually happy about, because finally this Pokemon is gone for me. And we don't know really what they're going to do next. They decide to go into Empoleon. They go into Waterfall Empoleon. That's interesting. I showcased this Pokemon before. I think it's a fun Pokemon to run. I think the Shadow version is just 20 times better though than the normal version, because Waterfall just does so much damage. Like with the Shadow version, you just have the option to farm down opponents, which you just don't really have with this version. And here now, I am in a position where I need one more fast move to go for an Aurelial to knock them out. They just let the move go, which I found quite interesting. I think they just had to hope they're bait. But at this point, this game is over. Thanks so much for watching this video. Did you like the longer video a bit more? Don't know. Let me know down below, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.